from Nelson Soapery. I just thought I'd do my intro before everyone comes on. So this is a Sunday chat that we have every Sunday. Everyone is included to come onto the chat, of course, and that way we talk about all the different things that everybody asks me during the week, and you kind of have a chance to say hi and also to ask me questions as we go along. So while YouTube gets everyone on here and everyone starts to load on, that way we can answer some more questions. In Australia at the moment, it's daylight savings, and in Melbourne, it's darker. So what actually happens is our times is an hour or so different to other states at the moment. So, and of course, in America, a lot of you are in your pajamas and getting ready for nighttime. So, but anyway, like I said, I thought, look, let's just go and I'll actually organize everything on here, and we'll start to talk about what we're going to talk about during this chat. So anyway, so get going. And the thing is, if anyone has any questions, do make sure that you pop them down, and I'll try really hard to answer your questions. If you try and keep it to a couple sentences, that's really good, because if it's like a paragraph, it comes on for like, I think it's 4 seconds and goes away. So I actually can't even read it in time. But if you have that, just put it in 2 different bits, and that way I can easily answer your questions. But today, our Sunday chat is going to be all about line sheets in particular. Oh, hi, Kristen. That's funny, that little comment. Very funny. No, you're welcome anytime, doll. No problems. So it is a cold and miserable Melbourne day in spring today. There is no warmth at all, and it's been raining for days and days here, so which really isn't like the way it should be. It's usually a lot warmer here. But anyway, and like I was saying, today we're going to be talking about line sheets in wholesale and so on. Hi, Trish. How are you, doll? Welcome. Thanks for coming on to my live on Sundays. Oh, it's hot up there, is it? Yeah, you're in Queensland, you lucky thing, Christine. In Melbourne, it's damn freezing. It's really, really cold. But anyway, it will start to get warm soon. We'll start to get all that happening. Hi, Kerry. How are you, love? Welcome. I hope you guys are all well and everyone's staying well. Hi, Mark. How are you? Welcome. I'm getting you so pretty, by the way. So we'll be talking about everything. Hi, Deb. How are you? Welcome, love. So basically what we're going to talk about today is line sheets, how we actually do them, and I'll give you a bit of a demo on how you can actually do them if you want to do wholesale and so on. Oh, cold where you are too, Trish. Yeah, I know. For anyone that doesn't know, I actually live in Gippsland, which is kind of like the real greeny part of Melbourne. So I'm not in the city. I'm further out, about 150 k's or so from the city. So it does get really cold, and this is kind of where all the dairy milk and all that kind of, and the farms and so on up. Although I'm in the main strip where all the main houses are, but yeah. Oh, happy Sunday, Roo. Thank you. Yes, welcome. So we're saying now we're going to be talking about line sheets, wholesale, and what you actually need to do, or what's not, you don't need to do this, but what's an actual good idea for your wholesale clients, because you want to make it really easy for them so they understand exactly what you're selling, and how they can then, once they get the product, then how they can actually deal with their customers. Because really there's kind of 3 people when you're looking at wholesale. The first one is the manufacturer, which if you're a soap maker like me, that is what you'd be doing, making it. The second person is the retail store, and of course they get your products. Then usually if it's a blank label or a private label, it means that I'm going to make, so for instance, I'll show you here. So if I'm going to make a bar like this is one of my massive big bars. If I'm going to make this, then I cut it all up. It goes to my retailer who buys it. And then, of course, they're going to market it to suit their business. So if their company, for instance, was Coles, then, they would cut it up and write their logo and everything on. But you need to give them the information, because they don't know what the ingredients are, colours, anything like that. So you need to be able to give them that, so then they know exactly what to put on their labels, and that they're adhering to law in whatever country that you come to. And that's where a line document is really, really good. So we'll go into that and exactly how I do mine. And this is the thing I'll say to people, I teach myself everything. I mean, yes, I am an interior designer by trade, but other than that, you know, soap making, I've taught myself a lot. And I honestly research day and day, every day. There's not a day I don't research something, you know, and talk to all different people in the community, you know, suppliers, and, you know, of course, government bodies, to make sure that I'm doing everything the right way and that I'm, you know, documenting and keeping all of that side right as well. So that's where your line document comes in. So for wholesale, usually you'd have two. So you'd have your line document, which you'll give them, and that, you know, that can kind of come later. And then if you have a website, you can also put it on there, and that's great because they can sort of search night and day whenever they're happy. And then, of course, once you've done all of that, then you want to sort of, you know, just email them just to say, okay, this is your order, or you can pop the order in. Obviously on here, I'm not going to show any orders because they're private details, and I don't give out any details about who, you know, has actually, you know, like addresses or what company has bought my things, because I don't think that's kind of right to do that, because like I said, when you've got a website too, like Shopify, there is privacy, so you can't actually just record yourself wrapping up items and giving all of their details out, because they may not want that. So if somebody messages you and says, I'm happy for you to put my name, you know, and wrapping it up, that's fine, but never give details or addresses or anything like that, because then that's kind of a messy grey area that we kind of get into as well. But for today, like I said, so I'm going to talk about the line sheet. So what I'm going to answer today is a couple questions that have come to me during the week. I think I've spoken about it a little bit, but a couple people have said they'd really love if I would talk about my story, and then they can sort of ask questions as well to how I got here. So before we get into anything, let's start a little bit with my own story. So, which isn't that interesting. I mean, it really isn't. But basically, I was working at another store, and that actually helped me, you know, set up my business. And I had a business that was design, and then online I had soap and candles and so on that I made all myself. And I make everything, so I don't have another person making it. And the reason I wanted to stick with that is I know exactly what I've done, and I know my process. So I do have other people, you know, my husband and my daughters, they'll come and help pack when I'm really busy. So, and, you know, honestly, soap makers and that, they're usually really busy nearing Christmas or Easter or Valentine's Day. They're more those kind of, the same as, you know, retail store, you get busy on those kind of festive seasons. But yeah, so my story really started with, I was actually managing another store, and I really wanted to do my own business, and I have owned my own businesses before. So I did have that bit of a background and so on. So I registered everything. And honestly, as I say, my husband and I are not wealthy people. So we just thought, well, we're not really wealthy. What do we do from here? So I literally worked, and part of that money I put into the business. So that's pretty much what I actually did to start with. And I started with $22. $22 is not going to get you far, but the most that is going to start to do is really just buy you some reams of paper and come up with a business plan. Before you even make anything, you need a business plan. So that's what I did. And if you're in Australia, you can go onto the Australian tax office, and they actually have a free business plan that you can just download and write in. And it's not hard. I mean, at the start, all it says is, you know, what kind of business are you doing? Where do you want to see yourself in a year? Just things like that, you know, like, so it's not really hard. So, excuse me. So I'll say, you know, definitely start with a business plan first of all, and then how you're going to get there. And don't start with millions of products like I have behind me. Just start with one small thing, and then start to build from that one small thing. So whether you start with bath bombs and then go on, and so on. And I never did wholesale for years. I've been doing this for 3 years, full-time 3 years. So the one thing I have to say is I actually did not start, you know, doing wholesale until very recently, only, I'm going to say maybe a month ago. It really wasn't long at all. Maybe even 2 months, not long at all. But anyway, but because people had already known me, I had a small presence on YouTube, and then I had my presence on, of course, all the social medias as well. Then people knew me, so they'd already seen what I did, whether they liked my products or not, so they'd already decided. And I've had lots of people saying, oh, I was actually hoping you'd do wholesale, I was just waiting. So That's the thing. That's why. Oh, how long was I doing it part-time? So before I did this, I think I'm going to say maybe a year and a half part-time before. So I was working as well, and then I was making things, but I didn't really advertise it, Mark, until I sort of decided to do that. So even though I think most of my social medias and even YouTube, I actually had a different YouTube before because my company was Nelson Stylists. So before this, I had a different YouTube. I didn't do anything with it. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to have to do it. So then I opened this YouTube and dedicated it solely for what I'm doing now. And this is my full-time job forever. This is going to be my job until I retire when I'm old. So I'll never stop doing what I do because this is what I'm really, really passionate about. But, you know, like so many other people, I really thought to myself, I don't have enough money. How can I do this? And that was really what made me think of it. My husband said, well, how about we work, you know, live on his wage and I, you know, keep a quarter of my wage and slowly invest it, because you got to start with small products. And then really to do wholesale, you need to buy massive bulk. That's the only way you make money. How long have I been doing soap making? 3 years. So 3 years for soap making. But before that, when I was younger at school, my teacher had actually taught us, we did some classes when I was about 10 years old on making soap. She taught us to make soap and candles. And that's one thing that I do remember her teaching us that quite a lot. So, and then of course I've got kids. So, you know, I always made these little projects with my children when they were younger and so on. So, but if I want to be honest, I think really honestly, to say professionally where I really sort of jumped it up to a real business, I would say 18 months to 2 years is when I actually really concentrated on what I'm doing. So that, you know, so really 18 months. I think 18 months to really get your business up and going, because it's not going to happen in a year. It's not going to happen in 6 months. It's not. It takes a very long time, and it takes a long time for people to know you, trust you, and buy your products. And of course, then I started on the markets. I've been doing markets over a year, maybe a year and a half now. Do I think it can be done full time from day one? No, I don't. I really don't. Because if you're doing a market, say every Sunday, and you're taking $700 or $1,000 every market, then maybe then you can. But in COVID times, like the markets I do quite a few. So I do in Melbourne, I do Mornington. I also do Red Hill, Yarra Glen. So what do I do? Red Hill, Yarra Glen, Mornington, and Flemington. So they're the main ones that I actually do, but they're all being closed for months. So if I was depending on that money, well, I'd be broke. I mean, because there is no money, you know, like you can't do it. But luckily for me, I'd already sort of got a bit of an audience. I have people that buy from me retail, and of course now wholesale. I've got quite a few. I think since I've been doing wholesale, I think I have six clients that now have been buying a couple that have already bought a couple of different orders from me. So yeah, your markets up there are small, Christine. The markets I do get tens of thousands come through the door. So they're huge. They're very, very big. One of the markets I do, I think, has about 400 stalls. So that will put it into perspective. It's huge, absolutely huge. And sometimes the line just to get in the door for customers is over an hour. So yeah, it can be a really, really long one. And it starts at 8. People start arriving at 7 to wait, and they bump their cars in. So yeah, it's very, very big. How much soap and products am I selling a week? Honestly, Mark, it depends. So sometimes when I first started, honestly, there'd be weeks I made no money at all. I didn't sell anything. Even 6 months ago, there was many weeks where I sold nothing. But now, doing wholesale, I think, so if we go the week before, so if I go the last month, to give you a bit of an average, because that's probably more when I started, I started doing like $500, I guess, in 1 week, wholesale, and that's wholesale and retail. And then I would go, so now it's really a couple thousand a week, like 1,500 to 2,500. I've been taking the last few weeks with wholesale orders, but that's, but to remember that, like, I'm still new at this, and also I'm still getting my wholesale clients, and we're nearing Christmas. So when Christmas gets, January, February, then a lot of the orders will kind of slowly sort of go away. But at the moment, my biggest orders are bath bombs. I'm doing thousands of bath bombs a week at the moment. So just continuously churning the bath bombs and soap. Actually, lately, at the start, it was more bath bombs, but lately I'm doing a lot of soap. Yeah, it is fantastic, Mark. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with it. So, and the good thing is feedback. Like if you get a person that buys one order and they don't buy anything else, you sort of think, oh, did they really like it? And it's okay if they don't, because you really want to know, even though you might go, oh, you get a bit upset. Oh, thank you from America. Hi, sweetheart. Welcome. Yeah, so I think the thing is, at the start, you get a bit upset sometimes. Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm just reading all the comments. Christine was just saying the prices are increasing hugely in the US, and I know they are. I've had a few people ask me, do I capture their emails? Yes, I do usually. If they buy through my site, often they put their emails in it. I don't send a lot. I've been lazy, to be honest. I haven't done a lot of the emails, but I'm one of these people. I don't want to send massive amount of emails because I think it's annoying. I don't want to just spam somebody. I want them to get an email that is useful for them. So at the moment, quite a few of my customers have started getting the line documents that I finished making. But I've still got to add a couple more soaps and that I'm working on, because I've got a man at the moment that has made me an amazing soap mold, and I'm very excited to get it. My husband has made me some, but I've ordered one that is over 10 kilos, holds over 10 kilos in one mold for soap. So his name is Vinny. So Vinny is actually on Etsy, and I found him through other soap makers, and anyway, he's lovely. So he's making me one of the silicone molds so then I can pump out a lot more soap in one go, because to be honest, at the moment, the second the soap's there, it's literally sold. At the moment, I think I've sold out of hundreds of soap this week. So I need to get going. I'll have to probably make maybe 30 big logs. And when I say logs, big like the one I've got down here, which I'll show you. So when I started with this little Bubsy mold. And this one holds, I think, maybe 8 bars of soap. And I thought, oh, no one's going to buy 8 bars from me. That's what I sort of thought at the start. I thought, oh, I'm not going to. And then when I did markets and started to sell it, I was shocked. And then, as most of you know, now we have gone to massive big ones, and I'll show you this one. So this is the biggest one I do now at the moment. So this one's about 25 bars in one go. So if I do, for instance, lavender, I'll do 3 in one go. Yeah, you have baby molds, yeah. How do I deal with the curing times if I'm sold out? Well, on my website now, it says if I don't have the soap, then it is 4 weeks wait. But basically, I'm continuously every day doing it. So my plan is to always have it there and ready to go. And all the people that have bought the soap at the moment, I think I have enough. The only thing is, one of them, I think it might be the tropical soap. I think I'm too short. And the only reason I'm too short is I actually stamped it for my picture on the internet. That's why. But so for that one there, they'll get all the bulk one, and then I'll just have to send the other 2, later on. So, but yeah, so I try and keep up, and I do have big racks full, and my husband has just bought, my husband and me, we've just bought a massive big air conditioner heater that has a huge dehumidifier on, like $1,000 dehumidifier. And before that, you don't need that at the start, but this is what I'm saying, I've got to that level now where I'm making hundreds and hundreds of bars of soap and hundreds of bath bombs. But honestly, at the start, I didn't. I was excited when I got a $40 order at the start. I was really, really excited. And I still get so happy when I even get a $50 order, a $20 order. I'm still like really excited about getting that. So never think just because it's a small order, it's not worthy. It is. I mean, they've chosen you over someone else. So this is the thing I want people to understand as well. Yeah, thanks, Christine. Yeah, I do feel like my hard work has paid off. And that's the one thing that I say to all of you, like, you can't start. It's the old saying, isn't it? You got to crawl before you can walk. And, I practiced so much at the start. I made sure my product was really worthy of selling. The first bar of soap I made, look, it was absolute rubbish, if I want to be honest. I mean, I thought it was pretty good, but, looking back, it was too high cleansing. It didn't have enough bubbles. You just don't know until you actually practice a lot. And practice does make perfect. So, so that's the one thing. So, yeah, so I just started from very humble, small beginnings. And, and I started from, I think the first year I might have spent $1,000 on products, whereas now I'm spending tens of thousands a year on materials to make all of these, because obviously now I make a lot of products. So don't ever kind of feel like, your little tiny bar of, whether you're making 6 bars of soap is not enough, because you will sort of slowly grow until you get to that bigger stage. And I'm still growing too. I'm learning things every day. So, and if my clients really hate something, I'd prefer them to say, look, can you change this, or what are you thinking? I mean, so it's the feedback is really good. So you want feedback, and you don't want your customers to feel scared to say things. So even on YouTube, sometimes I get things that I think, I didn't like that comment, but it's good because it is feedback. And then you go, okay, I'll better that next time. So just always learning and growing from other people, whether you like the comment or not, it's really good. Just to grow from everyone. And as well, when I started with 4 different scents, and now in my my soaps, I do so many, and I'm bringing out more. So the one that I just showed before, this is my new one, this is Peony Bloom. So this is actually a really beautiful smelling soap. It's strong. And this one is, it's got like peonies, wild violet in it, pansy. So it's got some really nice ones, lily of the valley as well in it. So this will be a really nice one. And then it has hand-piped Russian piping, and this will be a part of my wholesale range as well. And that's what I mean. I'm continuously bringing them in and changing them up as well. So stores have different changes because they don't want the same thing all the time. And then I will be doing a unicorn rainbow one as well. That will be a wholesale product as well. Yeah. Well, how do I come up with my ideas? Honestly, sometimes, you're going to laugh, Mark, but I just sometimes wake up and I've dreamt of a soap I'm going to make, Or I think of, like when I was a young girl, my family had a home in Malvern in the city. And they used to have all these pansies and bloom everywhere, and they had an old pool toilet, in the middle of the bloom, and I just remember these kind of things of, you hated going to this old toilet, but you've seen all these beautiful arrangement of blooming flowers. So they're just things like that. Or if I go for a walk in the country, I see something and I go, how can I replicate something that looks like that? But I am a very creative person. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, Mark? Yeah, my husband says, now I've got to tell you this. I had a dream that my husband was a pilot and saved everyone, and I told him this the other day, because I dream every day and I remember all my dreams. And I've been told that's a sign of creativity if you remember all this. So maybe it's true. But anyway, and my husband, the first thing he said is, when you dreamt it, was there soap in the dream? I said, no, you were just a pilot in the dream, saved the day. So yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Just always think of new ideas and come up with beautiful things that are yours. Never copy someone else's idea. That's the one thing that honestly I'd say, just don't copy someone else's idea, because it gives you a bad reputation when you do that. Try and come up with your own ideas. You can get inspiration from other things, but just don't copy their things. I've had a couple of people saying, would I do a particular bath bomb in a donut that was similar to one that Jerica did? And I was like, no, because that's something she made, so I wouldn't do that one. So, you just got to come up with your own ideas and be proud that your ideas are good. And just keep learning. So, and if your customers really like a certain product, then okay, that one's a good winner. We'll keep doing it. So, for instance, for me, my blooming rose, no matter what I do it in, whether it's soap, bath bombs, even the body whips, and so on, it's always the biggest seller. It's a seller that I sell a lot. So that's something I'm making a lot. Tropical Temptation in soap. That one, I can't keep up with it. It's just going out the door all the time. So it's permanently going out the door. And before I wanted to do my soap, so I literally got it to the customers, but I honestly didn't think I'd have so many orders wholesale. That has really, I mean, I'm so humbled and so grateful. I really am so grateful to people that trust my products, because I didn't think it would be a big seller at the start. Honestly, I didn't. I thought maybe I'll get 1 order a month wholesale and it might take a year or more before I start. But I was just shocked with how many people are buying and messaging me through Instagram. And then that gets me to a new point that pretty much all my customers, I've not paid, I've not like paid all these services to find me customers. The customers that I've actually got are all from free social media. So do Instagram, do Facebook, you can do YouTube if you want. You don't have to have a channel like me where you're dedicated to it all the time, but, just find social medias, and there's lots and lots of platforms that are free. There's quite a lot of them. So do look into all the free platforms that are available. And too, you might even do like, a collaboration with other people as well. That happens quite a lot on Instagram, where you might collaborate with somebody and so on. Yeah. I know I do need to get a bigger studio. My husband was actually saying he's going to, because we're extending a part of our house at the moment, and he was saying, when I say extension, the house, not really the house, just a veranda, but, and then to the side of this, we're going to extend this a bit more, because I did have a warehouse and everything, but I just, with COVID and everything, I just don't want to do that again, not for a very long time. Eventually I'll maybe go into a shop or something, but at the moment, I don't want to do that. But I don't want to have a retail shop. I want to have one that's more wholesale. Yeah, thank you, Kerry. Yeah, she was just saying that it was good that I waited patiently. And I did. I was actually a bit scared to go wholesale, because I thought, oh no, what happens if someone doesn't like it? What happens if they think it's not as good as another product? And they're normal things that we all think of. So you might think, oh, my product isn't as jazzy as such and such as down the road, but that's not true, because they're buying from you. They obviously like what you're doing. And even now, sometimes I do a product and I say, oh, that's garbage, I don't want to sell that. And then my daughters say, oh, I love it. So and then I think, well, maybe someone else will like it, and it's just my opinion that I don't love it. So that's the thing too. A lot of things are opinions. But now let's get into the line document that I was talking about here. So basically, if you do a line document, and for anyone that wants mine, just message me or something. You can message me. My phone number and everything's all over the internet. Go onto my website and you'll see it. And my website is nelsonsoapery.com, no AU, for anyone that wants to know. And I'm happy to send you out a line document, no charge or anything. I'll just email it to you, so you can see what I mean. So this is how I basically started. A line document, you just need, your squares. So this would be where your picture would be. So you might have, a pink bath bomb, your blue bath bomb, your bubblegum one, for instance. And then underneath it, you would write your SKU, your pricing, your information. This would be too small to put the ingredients on. So I usually do a separate list that I send out with the product, and that has the ingredients on it. But people can also go back to your website if you don't do that. But a line document is really, really good. So that's something that I'd suggest. And on mine, I have 3 squares, and then I have another 3 squares, and so on. So try and fit at least 6 onto one page, and then just put it in a PDF, and you can actually email it to your clients. So even if you're thinking of going wholesale and you haven't, that's something you can do. And then you know that you're going to have individual SKU numbers and things like that. And this has taken me 3 years to get to this. Like, I've been working on this lately. So you don't have to do this at the start. But if sales aren't good, these are things you could kind of work on for when things do get good. So that's something that I really do suggest when you're doing a line document. So when you sort of think about a line document, what's it for? It's more just easy information to back up your product. So even though they're seeing it on your website, it's good for them to have a hand thing or like I said, a PDF on an email that they can keep going back. So if they, for instance, ordered this Bloom soap, they can go back. Well, what's a typical day for me, Mark? Honestly, my husband laughs because I say my office is my bedroom because I wake up, get a coffee, I sit on my laptop for about 2.5 hours because, I have to go through Shopify and check it, and I have to load things. So usually I spend the first part of my day doing that. Then I go onto the laptop, see the orders that I get, And then I will actually decide, okay, pack all the orders and then make soap. But at the moment, my typical day, honestly, every day from probably lunchtime until 10 at night, I'm making soap and bath bombs. So a lot. It's a really long day. And in between that, of course, I have lunch and dinner, and I kind of don't just sit here. I do that, but because the bars of soaps need to cure. So if I don't record this and I'm not doing a video, I can do heaps. I can probably do 100+ bars a day easily. Honestly, I probably do 300. So, but when I'm doing YouTube, then that actually changes things a lot. Oh, hi, sweetheart. How are you? Welcome. Welcome. We're just talking about wholesale and things that I do and my typical day. So, yeah, but what I do too is I have everything planned out. So I have a sheet that I'll write Monday to Friday what I actually need to do. But at the moment with wholesale, my day is changed a bit because I'm selling so much that I just need to continuously keep going so that no one's missing out on soap. Actually, where I get a lot of my products and essentials, they said to me, oh my goodness, you were here 2 days ago. Why are you back? And I'm like, oh, I need more, citric acid. And I buy them in I think it's 25 kilo bags. So I've been buying, dozens of bags at a time now because I'm just selling so much. So, but, that may slow down any time. So you don't want to say no to a customer because, after Christmas, I could be really quiet, which is usually what happens. Then you're really quiet. So you want to take the customer while you can. But, honestly, if I didn't have the product, I don't lie. I would immediately message them and say, look, I'm really sorry. I'm packing up the order, but unfortunately I don't have it. So just so that they know that you're not going to have that product, because if they're really depending on it, they won't be happy, if you're 6 weeks later and you haven't sent the product. So you just need to be honest and tell them, no, I have it or I don't. But yeah, like I said, my main part of the day, honestly, is first on the laptop to look at the orders. Secondly, I'd come and pack those orders, or, I put them on big trays first. And then after I put them on the massive big trays, then I'll sort of start to box them up. And my studio is small, so I've had lots and lots of boxes near the window. And unfortunately, Australia Post are like, we don't want to pick up anymore. So they haven't been picking up. So I have to go and take them all to the post office. So usually my daughter helps me. And I don't know whether many of you know, but my dad's with me at the moment. So my dad stays a lot because he has terminal cancer and I look after him as well. So, yeah. Oh, do I sell candles wholesale? I've just listed them. And to be honest, I'm only going to do these little bubsy ones. Hold on, I'll get one and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So my big ones I don't, because there's not enough money in those for wholesale. So a lot of people charge $60 for the massive big ones that I do, but I only charge $35 to $38. So if I was to do wholesale, I'd probably make $2 on those. So I wouldn't make enough money to be able to do that. And a lot of times my freight, every time my freight costs more than I charge, but I just discount it to be fair because people are buying big amounts from me. So yeah, but these are the little ones that I have been doing wholesale, and these are ready to go out. I think I have one licorice and maybe one peony, and they're all sold out. And I only put these on maybe 4 or 5 days ago. So wholesale, they're all gone. And I'm waiting for another delivery of 1,000 tins. So, but these ones are really easy to sell, and wholesale, I sell these for just under $5. And in the shops, they sell from anything from $8 to $15. I charge around, I think it's $9 or $10 for one. So, but you could easily charge $12 because these are a beautiful looking one, and they're a pure soy, and they also have the wood wicks as well. Yeah, thank you, Kristen. Yeah, it is awesome, isn't it? And I never thought, like I said, I honestly didn't think that anybody would buy so much wholesale from me, because my husband said, oh, they might buy more than you think. I said, no, I'm just a small fry in this business. But, I don't know whether you call this 4 ounces at all, Shauna. I'm not sure. This one here is 90 grams in Australia, so I'm not sure what that converts to in ounces. But, yeah, it's a normal, I think it's kind of like a small to medium size, but it's about 24 hours burn time roughly. So, yeah, so I think that's, anything from, depends how they do it, of course, but, it's about, I'd say 20 hours burn time roughly. is what I'd say, to be sure, because I don't like to over say what I'm actually doing. But yeah, so but that's pretty much how I started, like I said, and that's how my day is. But each day is different because it depends on what I'm selling. And I do think now that I'm doing wholesale, I'm going to have to do a bigger plan of my day because yeah, because like I said, I've in a very short time got quite a lot of customers. So which is really exciting. It's really exciting where my little Bubsy baby business has gone and where it's going. So I'm definitely really excited about that. So now I thought I'd talk about a few different terms that people often don't know. Yeah, I have to know it's hard to get stuff. Yeah, that's right, it is. You're right, Mark, definitely. And that's the thing too. You don't know that once once everything goes back to normal, I mean, people might start buying from China and places like that again rather than small businesses like me. So you just don't know, or they might go back to somebody else. But at the moment, I'm able to keep up with the supply, and I'm quite friendly with a lot of suppliers. So they're willing to help me out because they know I'm just a small business. But I hope people will come back to me even when everything gets up and going again and gets better. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. And that's the thing in business too, isn't it? You don't know how long this is going to last. We really don't. Oh, you'd love to assist. Thank you. Yeah, I know. Lots of people have offered, which is so nice. And then, of course, I do have the Australian Candle and Soapery Conference that I'm organising on the other side as well. So I have the two things going, but I do have people helping me with that. So, which is really good because it's still going ahead. It doesn't matter with COVID. It will open up and we'll go ahead. So we might just have lower numbers than we originally anticipated, but it's still going to be a great event, and we're still lucky to be able to give away around the $5,000 of products and prizes on the day that people have donated, so which is really, really nice. So if you don't know about that, make sure you just go and have a look over on that, which is the Australian, like I said, Soapery and Candle Conference.com. No AU. I don't use AU on mine because I use Shopify. So they organise all of that side as well. And at the moment, I think there's 20% off for the month of October for tickets. So you can buy virtual or you can buy a ticket, to come physically as well. Yeah, I can't wait, Christine, either. I'm very excited to meet everyone and everyone, especially YouTube, all my friends, all you guys on here have been just so amazing, like really, really supportive. So I hope it kicks off because honestly, I've made no money on it. I don't plan on ever making money on it. That's just a bit of a love thing to try and help everyone and create community with that also. But anyway, like I said, people can go over there if they want or just message me and I'll give you some information and I'll happy to email you the links or message you the links through Instagram as well. So now the one thing I was going to say as well, if people don't know what a private label is, it might be simply oh, thank you. Thanks, Natalie. Yeah, if it is good ingredients, that's right. You hope people will come back. Yeah, I do too. And, I really do. Even my bath bombs are not alcohol or anything. They are a luxury oil. So, and that is the difference. And I do get a lot of people, and, I get a lot of stores that say to me, oh, I had a lady the other day. She said, oh, I've been trying to make these for nearly a year and I just can't do it. So, bath bombs aren't easy to make, and that's why I don't sell my bath bombs for $1 because they're not, they're not alcohol. It's not a cheap product. It is a quality product for me to make. But I still think $2.60 for a bath bomb is pretty good going. So I think that's a pretty good price for wholesale. So, and that's pretty much what I charge. But so, for instance, if this was like this and it had no tag, didn't have my tag, and it was just white like this is what you call a private label, and then your retailer can put their own name on this, and that way you understand that you're giving them this, and they have the right to put their details and so on, which becomes their product, and you just become the manufacturer behind the scenes, so nobody knows you. So if anyone doesn't know, that's what a private label is, because I didn't know that either at the start. You can also do things like consignment. So basically you would give all your products to the store. When they sell them, then they give you your money back. So, you might say, I want $10 for this, and they charge 20. So they give you your 10, they take their 10, and so on. And that's how that works as well, if you don't know, for wholesale. So yeah, so like I said, they're the sort of things that happen if you don't understand how that works. And a line sheet, like I said, is just a document of, you know, your SKU numbers, your prices, and a short description and the picture. So then the retailer is really clear on what they're actually getting with a line document as well. And then usually you would back that up with something else. And another thing to do that's really important with wholesale is you need to give them a flyer. So people that have bought from me wholesale know I give them a flyer, and the flyer just says a little bit about it, has a bit about me in it as well, and just talks a little bit about wholesale. So let me grab it and I'll show you what it is. So this is my wholesale one that I send to them. So that's just the front. And then, of course, on the inside, it just has a little bit of information about us, how it all works. And then at the back, of course, a picture of me making something, because people want to see who's making it and so on. So, yeah, so this is what I just give out wholesaler. And then on the inside, I just put out whatever print that I'm going to print in it, which usually the prints, you know, the ingredients and so on for each product. So they know exactly, you know, what they're going to write on their labels. So that's something that you want to do. So when you're doing wholesale, you do need to invest some money into printing and things like that, just to get that off the ground and make sure that's really good. Oh, and I've got something exciting to show you, which I haven't done my video, but I'll show you. So I've just also ordered this. So I've got this No Issue for anyone that knows this, which I actually paid for this. They didn't give it to me or anything. And I ordered the tissue paper. And so I'll grab a piece out so I can show you with my own label on it. So hopefully you can see this is my new tissue paper, which has my logo on it. And I always wanted it, but I thought I can't do that until I actually start making some real money rather than just $20 here or there. So, yeah, so once you start going, you can do that, and then you can really brand yourself. And so now people know usually with me that they're going to see pink things because my brand is pink. And I'm actually going to be investing into some bags for my retail, which just, you know, some small bags as well. They go over the top. You can get lots of biodegradable ones, sustainable ones as well. And it protects the product, especially if you're sending it long distances as well. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, exactly. I know. I absolutely love it. And I'm so excited to do my orders. I've got a couple orders from last night. So I'll actually, especially the retail ones, the smaller orders, I'll do in those as well, just so that my brand, it starts to be out there. And it's taken, like I said, honestly, it's taken me 3 years just to get my brand, for people to actually recognize me. And a lot of people still don't know me, but on YouTube, I often do get even noticed now. Funny enough, even though I've only have 2K or something subscribers, I do get people that come past me in the street and say, aren't you on YouTube? I think I've seen you. And I'm like, yeah, I am. So, you know, so it's funny. You do kind of get that as well. Can you film it and do a video? Do you mean, Mark, do you mean for the tissue paper? Because I was thinking of doing a video on the tissue paper, how I did it. And honestly, they were amazing to deal with. Really, really good to deal with. So I have no complaints. And yeah, I will, Mark. Yeah. I was thinking of doing something on it, and they were actually really great to deal with, and it wasn't that expensive. It was a couple $100 for the tissue paper, so it's not cheap. But, you know, you wouldn't use, like that piece I showed you, you wouldn't go and put 5 pieces on a candle. You'd probably wrap it, I would think, with some other colour or whatever you're going to do, just white, and then that would be over the top, just as, you know, your print. So, and I'm actually getting some stickers from them as well, because I do all my own stickers, but now that I'm getting quite a lot of orders, I don't have time to make my own stickers anymore. So, and that's what I mean at the start. You can start by, you know, making your own on a Cricut machine and things like that. But as you get further on down the line, you just know that you're just not going to have time to do that. And I honestly don't have time anymore. And my thing is, going forward, I know that I'm always going to do wholesale now going forward, and I'm always going to do YouTube. So they're my 2 main things. So I need to concentrate in particular. It will definitely be soap, bath bombs. So what did I decide? Soap and bath bombs are my definite main thing. Body butter, I'm going to be bringing in some of those wholesale as well. And of course the candles. So they're my main wholesale items, and I'll start to downgrade a bit of my retail and take some of those products off, because I do have a lot I have maybe, I'm going to say maybe 300 products or something. I can't remember, but there's hundreds. I do have a lot. So I'll keep making more, but they'll be in bigger batches. That'll be the difference, which will actually help me move forward as well. And I've been contacted by a couple shops as well. So at the moment, I'm kind of like turning down a couple people, saying I can't do big orders. I have been asked in the past to do 10,000 plus bars of soap, but I'm just like, no, I'm not big enough to do that amount. I can easily do hundreds, a couple thousand a month. A week, a couple thousand a week, but 10,000, every week just for one person's too much, because then I would have to look after all my other clients. And like I said, at the moment, I've only just started wholesale and I already have 6 clients and possibly another person I've been talking with as well, which will be 7. So yeah, so just grow small and just make sure people can trust you and trust your product and be honest about what you're doing. I don't fib to people, and I think I'm really approachable. I say to people, just message me, just email me. And, I'm happy to help you and talk to you about all these things as well. So, communication is also key, isn't it, to all of these things as well. And this was one thing I was going to talk about too. You need to keep your cost down on products as well. So, there's no good making the most beautiful soap and then you've got to pay $100 for a tiny bottle, because some fragrance oils are really expensive. So mine, I keep in that middle market. I do have a couple, like my Blooming Rose is the high end, because that is definitely a high end one. The tropical ones are higher end, and there's a couple that are higher end. But generally you want to kind of stick to that medium thing, because people in a retail store, they don't want to be charging $20 a bar of soap anyway, because they know it's going to be a hard sell. So they want to be, you want to be able to charge them only $4 to $5 a bar of soap wholesale, so that it's realistic for them to be able to sell it. So I thought, now I'm going to just talk on here a little bit about wholesale and the prices that you want to get your prices down to. So now, if you're talking about a bath bombs generally to make for wholesale, anything from 90 cents to $1.30 to make a bath bomb. Mine is more the $1.30, and the reason for that is because I'm using jojoba oils and things like that. So I'm not using alcohol, which is cheaper to use, or water, which is cheaper. I use witch hazel. I don't really use water. So mine's like witch hazel, apricot kernel oil, jojoba oils, and so on, and a lot of essential oils, which they're like 10 times the price. So that's why mine's more expensive, but sometimes people might do it for 90 cents, but that bath bomb is not going to be luxury. And, so that's kind of where it is. I want to get mine into a store and stores be proud of it, and they know it's a really good product that people are going to come back for. So that's my main thing, is trying to help the store too, grow their customers and get people to love it and want to come back. So that's sort of where you're looking at for that. And I'm talking when I buy massive wholesale bags as well. So if I was to buy just a little container this big full of citric acid, I couldn't do these prices. You couldn't even sell wholesale. You have to buy massive bulk to be able to make it worth it. And also, when we go to soap, I was talking to Robin Soap House a while ago, that's a big wholesaler, and they're getting out of wholesale now. But she was actually saying to me that, she really, even with her buying in massive bulk, to make a quality soap, you cannot do it under $2.10. And I 100% agree. If you really want to have the quality one with me, like I use cocoa and shea butters, that's really, really expensive butters to use. So the big tub I buy is like $350 it cost me to buy. And that's, buying wholesale too. So, and I'm using, half a kilo of shea butter and half a kilo of cocoa butter just in this 25 bar soap. And that's why the soap feels nicer, because it does have some beautiful quality oils in them as well. So the soap that I make costs me, I charge about, I can't remember whether it's $4.20 or something wholesale, but honestly it cost me about $2. I'd say maybe $2.60 a bar, I think I worked out roughly. Often I'm not even doubling my price for wholesale, which that's what they say you should do, but I want to be realistic, because I know that the retail needs to earn money as well. And I'm all about making that relationship with them and helping them as well so that they can make money, I can make money, and then it's a good relationship for both of us going forward. And then, of course, with mine as well, with my soaps, I don't charge the full shipping. So I had one order that cost almost $100 to ship out, and I think I charged $30 or $40. So I obviously cover that cost. And that's fine. I'm more than happy to do that. But you need to add that into your product. And that's what I was saying. They're things that are important as well to add into things. So don't forget any of those things as well. So, yeah, so hopefully those kind of things have helped. And also, some people that make soap might put things like sunflower oil in. That's a cheaper oil, whereas I use olive. There's quite a few different things. If you double for wholesale, what do I do for mine? So if I usually I double mine and then I take off 20%. Sometimes I keep it double and leave it that. It depends. Soap I don't double because I just think it's too expensive. And I know myself, I sell retail, and I know people don't really want to pay more than $8 or $9 a bar of soap. So if I charge my customer $5, which my double would be, I think $5.20 would be a wholesale price, and I think I charge $4. So I can't remember whether it's $4.20 or $4.60, but basically it just means they would have to charge so much more. It'd be harder for them to sell. So I try and be realistic, and I'm still earning money. I'm not losing money. I'm still earning good money. There's people that I know that sell soap, and they sell their soap for $3.20. So they might only make 50 cents. And I just think that's not a sustainable business. You cannot run a business on making that. Do you buy bulk olive oil? Look, Mark, I actually looked into that. There's a company that I looked into buying bulk, and it is no cheaper than the Italian oil I buy from Woolworths. It is no cheaper at all. It's actually more expensive. And then how much do they sell at their shop? Well, that's up to them what they want to sell. I don't make my clients sell anything at a certain price. That's totally their choice. What they want to sell. I just tell them that, whatever is the retail. I can give people, like, I think on some of my forms, I give it what I think is reasonable, but they can sell over that. And if they've got a shop in an area that their rent is higher, they would charge more because they need to pay their rent. And I've had retail shops. I know they're very expensive, really, really expensive to. Whether you own the shop or not, it's very expensive to have commercial leases, or retail leases, like a lot of money. And I managed many retail stores, and I've seen things with big companies that I know they paid $1 for, and they would charge $25 for it. So, they charge a big money. But that's when you go into Westfields and things like that. But most of the shops I'm dealing with are small businesses, so I'm just trying to help them, get off the ground and so on. But like I said, you have to be realistic. Well, this is my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. This is my opinion. You've got to be realistic. How can they sell it? And are you being fair to them? And are they being fair to you? And if it's a good relationship, then it works well. Yeah, wow. I know. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Yeah, I'm always shocked when I worked for big companies, and I'm not going to mention companies, but when I seen the price they pay and what they charge, I was really blown away. With a lot of products. I just thought, oh my goodness, but they have to. Their rent's so high. When you're going in Westfield, some of their rents are thousands a week in these, big Westfield stores. So not to mention the fit out of their store, keeping the store maintained. There's taxes involved, insurances. It's so much. And obviously for me, it's not just the soap I'm making. I have insurances and things like that as well that I need to pay for on the products too. Yeah, well, that's right, Christine. They have massive, massive overhead. So I think when you're doing wholesale, you need to respect that your retail client has a lot of overheads to pay for. So I just think you also can't be greedy. If your customer is loyal to you and they are buying dozens and dozens of soaps or bath bombs, you need to be fair to them and say, like for me, I'm honestly so grateful that people are actually coming to me for wholesale. I'm really grateful, and I'm happy to work with them. So if there's something, like there's a couple people at the moment I'm doing things for. Yeah, that's right, Christine. One of the ladies was saying she actually has a cafe. So, bacon and eggs is expensive. And I actually used to know a guy that had a franchise for Gloria Jeans. and he was telling me that he made 10 cents a coffee. So, you know, I mean, he definitely wasn't doubling or tripling that. So, you know, charged $4 a coffee and you made 10 cents because the coffee beans are taxed quite a lot and they were very, very expensive for the high brand he used. But people didn't want to pay $7 a coffee. So, not in Melbourne anyway. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Oh, thanks, Mark. Yeah, no, and that's why I did these Sundays. At the start, I used to record them, and then I thought, you know what, it's really good for people to be able to ask questions and to, I think, get to know who I am as well and what, you know, what sort of my goal is. So, and that's one thing I've got to say too. When you're a retailer, you don't want to be ordering a product. You love the product. Like for me, as most of you know, my bars of soaps are a unique size. They're made a particular size. So if somebody started selling all my bars of soap and then all of a sudden that, you know, I closed my shop, they have to go to someone else, they'd be like, oh no, because then all of their shelves and everything wouldn't fit a bar of soap that was different. So they're the things that you need to think about as well. You know, you really want to be able to promise your customer you're in this for the long haul. You're not going to just leave them high and dry and not have a product because you're going to close the door. So even if that ever happened and something terrible happened, I would be honest and tell them, you know, this is the situation. So, but honestly, for me, the goal is to do this till I'm old, till I'm way past my 70s and retire. So that is my ultimate goal, to do this. And the way things are going, I think it may be good. And I don't care if I earn, you know, millions of dollars. You know, $500 a week. I don't care. I really do love what I do. So, and I am really passionate about a quality product. So, and I think that's why, look, I've had people come from that have told me they've gone to 5 markets to find me if I haven't been there, because they've said I really love it. And once they love it, they'll come back. So just trust in your product. Try and brand your product. Make it consistent. So if your product's pink, don't go, you know, I wouldn't do this in blue because everything else is pink. So you've got to keep with the color you choose and stay with your design. So these are things that, you know, you've definitely got to do. And, you know, like for me, so I'm going to be doing these, if you can see these gorgeous little ones. This is going to be a part of my wholesale range, which is my unicorn range, because I know they sell so well. I sell out all the time of unicorn soap. So that will be a part of my next one, and make sure that's consistent as well. How much for you? What do you mean by how much for me? Like how much I earn? Or, I mean, it doesn't, you know, honestly, a soap maker can't tell you the exact amount because you earn different amounts every week. Some weeks I've had weeks where I've got $2,000 of wholesale orders and others I don't. So that's something that I don't actually, I can't give the exact amounts. And yeah, you just don't know. Oh, you want to purchase from me? Oh, thank you. So people can purchase retail from me, and they can purchase anything from $1 upwards, or if they do wholesale, it's $250 is the minimum for our wholesale, and that's so that we can package it and get it all ready. From North Carolina. Hi, love. One of my dad's best friends when he was young was from North Carolina. His name was Kenny, and I always remember him as a lovely guy. So it's one of those things, isn't it? You just got to kind of do what you can do and, you know, have all of those funny things as well. So, yeah, anyway, but now we're going to end here because I have to go in and make my gorgeous dad some lunch. So hopefully all of these comments have really, really helped, and all the questions and answering and everything else have been amazing for everyone. But you can watch it back as well. South Carolina, hi, love. Yeah, hello. You can watch this back. So I always do keep this so that you guys can watch it back as well. So, yeah, so hopefully it's been informative. And like I said, if you need to, or you want to buy wholesale from us, all you need to do is just go onto my website and have a little bit of a look. Oh, yeah, Christine, I seen that. I just didn't even pay attention. I ignored that. If someone sends me something stupid, I ignore that. So I honestly do not even comment at all. I just laugh and go, yeah, okay, fine. You know, and if I get, too, so that everyone knows, to keep it nice, if I get a message that I don't like on YouTube, I have a thing that we can actually manage from the back end, so I remove it. So a couple of times I've had something just annoying written and nothing really bad, but I've just removed it as well. Thanks, Natalie. You have an amazing day too. Anyway, thank you, everyone, and I will see you soon. Thanks for coming. Bye.